Hi, my name is Aisha. Today I'm here with Taylor and Mackenzie to talk about one of science's most fascinating possibilities that you have definitely seen in a TV show, movie, or in a cartoon. Something really interesting. Breaking a wine glass with your voice. Isn't that cool? Yes, it is. But wait, I bet you haven't thought how actually it works. Because it is not as easy as it seems. Some people don't even think it is possible, is it? Well, science says yes. Scientists have proven it is actually possible. So today we three are here to talk about the physics behind breaking a glass with your voice. It is agreed upon by scientists that human voice should be able to break a wine glass. However, it is really difficult and nearly impossible to achieve with the average human voice. When we take a wine glass, each piece of glass has a natural resonance frequency. Natural resonance frequency is the speed at which it will vibrate when it is disturbed by a stimulus. And it depends on many things. It depends on the shape of the glass, the thickness of the glass, the chemical composition of the glass, etc. So, if our voice can meet this natural resonance frequency of the glass, we can keep the glass vibrating. In order to do that, we have to control our voice under certain guidance, such as the pitch of the voice and how loud the voice is. With that being said, I turn this over to Mackenzie to explain the physics in deeper details behind this scenario.
Hello, my name is Mackenzie, and I'm here to talk about the actual physics behind making a glass break with your voice. When you're speaking toward an object, such as a wine glass, you're exerting sound waves from your voice toward that object. And those sound waves, if they match the natural resonant frequency that Aisha was talking about, they will make that object vibrate. What makes the glass actually vibrate is something that Aisha has already mentioned as pitch. We will now refer to pitch as frequency. And the frequency of the voice, or of any sound for that matter, is just the speed of the sound waves. So, if the pitch of your voice, or as we now know it as, the frequency of the sound waves of your voice exerted onto the glass matches the natural resonant frequency of the glass, it will cause the glass to vibrate. However, frequency is not the only factor that plays into breaking a glass with your voice. Aisha also talked about sound and the volume of your voice that also plays into it. We will now refer to the volume as the amplitude. So now we are starting to piece together the fact that Breaking a glass with your voice is not simply because of the pitch and the frequency, which makes the glass vibrate, but it's also because of the amplitude of the sound waves, which is the volume, which it needs to be loud enough. So you might be wondering what happens if the frequency is met and not the amplitude, or what if the amplitude is met but not the frequency? In actuality, a high enough amplitude actually can be enough to break a glass or other objects, just because it can be high enough to exert a strong enough force to break just about anything if it's high enough. But this cannot usually be done with just the average human voice, and a lot of times it would require amplification from something like an amplifier. A human trying to raise their volume or raise the amplitude of their voice in order to make the glass break is the same effect as pushing a child on a swing, but if you don't push them at the right time, they're not going to go anywhere. So if you exert a louder volume with just your voice without amplification, without the frequency matching the natural resonance frequency, it's not going to have much effect on the glass. Likewise, if you match the frequency of your voice with the natural resonant frequency of the glass, it will make the glass vibrate, but without the correct high enough amplitude, the glass is not going to break. It's just going to continue to vibrate. Most humans cannot break a wine glass with their voice simply because they cannot reach the amplitude that it requires. Most glasses require amplitudes of over 100 decibels, while the human voice only carries about 50 decibels on average. So now we know that in order to break a glass with our voice, we need to have the correct pitch, or the frequency of our voice needs to match the natural resonance frequency of the glass, as well as we need to have the right amplitude. It needs to be loud enough, which is very, very difficult to achieve with just the regular human voice. Taylor is now going to tell you a little bit more about how glass plays into the whole thing, and he'll go a little bit more into depth about the physics of everything.
All right. Hello, everybody. My name is Taylor Griffin, and as I'm sure you already know, in this video today, we're talking about how you can make glass break with your voice. And what I'm going to specifically talk about is what within the structure of the glass causes the glass to break. So, glass, unlike a lot of other materials such as iron, diamond, maybe steel, which are made up of a crystal lattice-like molecular structure, meaning that the molecules that actually make up the physical object have some structure to them. Now, glass molecules are arranged in an amorphous structure. And what amorphous means is that the molecules are not arranged in any specific order. They're just kind of scattered throughout the structure of the glass. So because the molecules have no structure, then it's very likely that the glass will contain tiny cracks. So basically this piece of glass probably has thousands of small deformities and cracks and fractures all within it. So fracture toughness describes the ability for a material containing a crack to resist fracturing. So basically, in other words, it's the fracture resistance that the object has. Now fracture toughness is related to the stress and the crack length using the equation K is equal to sigma times the square root of pi times A, where sigma is the stress and A is the crack length. Now, the fracture toughness for glass is given by the the equation K is equal to 0.7 MPa m to the 1/2, where K stands for the stress intensity factor. Now, for comparison, the fracture toughness for steel is K is equal to 50 MPa times m to the 1/2, which makes glass essentially 71 times more likely to fracture than steel. So basically, do not try to break steel with your voice at home. So basically, the only two factors that determine if the glass is going to break is how big the crack is and how much stress you put on it. So basically, the stress is the energy imposed upon the glass by our voice when we're trying to use our voice to make the glass break. So by putting a chip in the glass, you're basically making it a lot easier to break the glass with your voice, because now you don't need as much energy when trying to break the glass with your voice. So that is how, because of the molecular structure of glass, it is fairly easy to break glass with your voice.